All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board, 1 p.m. Eastern. Indianapolis Colts 0-3, 0-1 on the road. Miami Dolphins 1-2, 0-1 at home. We're at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. 83 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy. 15 miles per hour is the wind. I talk about a book often, The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, and it's affecting me. Clearly, I have a vividness bias of the Indianapolis Colts, and it's hurting me. It's hurting me so far this year. I have a vividness bias of Darius Leonard, but I remember Darius Leonard, making second-round draft, but he got the signing bonus, but making, $800,000, not the highest paid defensive player in the league. Darius Leonard was a disappointment last week, and I think he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but Miami opening up as 1.5-point favorites. That's where they stand right now. This total at 43.5 is still sitting at 43.5, but other books have gone to 43. Viper says the total's gone under in 4 of Miami's last 5 games when playing Indianapolis. Gerald Jones says Miami spot fading Colts every week. Just saying this stuff out loud, I felt like I had to say the Undoing Project. I had to say that out loud because I think, again, we're going to get an overreaction of what we saw from the Dolphins last week, and the Colts are probably the play here. And, God, it just scares me to say that. Let's move over to where the cash lies here. Oh, God, it scares me. It pains me to say it. 4,099 tickets in. 57% of the tickets, 58 just moved. 58% of the tickets on the spread on the Dolphins, 63% of the cash on the Dolphins. That's all spread. It will always be spread, so I don't want to keep saying that. 39% of the tickets on the over, 56% of the cash on the over. Colts come in off, and Birdie says Dolphins for me. I've said now for 2 weeks, you fade the team that played Henry the week before. Getting smashed by that truck, then having to travel to Miami is the play. Love it. Wow. My man R from Regent Park says 45 too high under, and Dennis Garcia says I took over 43.5. Dennis Garcia says Miami is a luck box. Oh, by the way, Bebsie, I don't know if you looked at the comments from our Raiders-Dolphins game, but we just got shat on by everybody before the game. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Raiders are going to win by 10. You haven't been watching these games. You're just reading out stats. You're a 49ers fan. You shouldn't talk about the Raiders. Mark my words, Raiders win by 10 was what everybody said. Over 45, 50 comments shitting on us. But they were all fucking wrong. Colts coming off a 25-16 loss to Tennessee. They somehow lost while winning the turnover battle 3-0. And this brings back what Dennis Garcia was saying about the Jags. Jags get 2 special team touchdowns and can't cover. The Colts can't cover when winning the turnover battle 3-0. Oh, wobbly ankles. Wentz, 19-37, 194 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Does us the great pleasure of not running once. Michael Pittman caught 6 passes for 68 yards. Nyheim Hines caught 5 passes for 54 yards, ran 6 times for 25 yards. Jonathan Taylor ran 10 times for 64 yards. Julian Blackmon was a beast, 11 tackles. He looked good. Kwity Paye ruled out, injured hamstring. All-Pro. Actually, I shouldn't say he's ruled out yet. I don't have that confirmed, but I don't know if he'll be in the lineup. I don't think he will be. All-Pro left guard Quentin. Say what, Bebsie?
Let's say doubtful.
Doubtful. All-Pro left guard Quentin Nelson hurt his right ankle early in second quarter. Carted to the locker room, didn't return. Replaced by Chris Weed. Kari Willis, their cornerback, cramps in the fourth quarter. But Reich said it was a groin injury, so we don't know what's going on there. And cornerback Rock Yassin hurt his ankle. Now, after talking this all out, hearing Birdie on the other side, now maybe I'm coming back. And Dolphins come in off a 31-28 loss at Las Vegas. Brissett, 32 of 49, 215 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. He also ran 7 times for 37 yards. The chat was adamant last week that Brissett was as good, if not better, than Tua. And the whole chat was on the Dolphins. And you guys we all cashed. Gesicki, 10 catches for 86 yards. Waddle had 12 catches, but 58 yards. That's like 4.8 yards a catch. Myles Gaskin led the running backs with 13 carries for 65 yards. They were able to get pressure. They had 3 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. Landon Roberts, 85 yards for a pick 6. They have an NFL best streak of 25 games for the takeaway for the Dolphins. Yes, Tua is on the injury reserve, but other than that, this is a very healthy group. You know what? It's a very healthy group coming home. I've got to get away from the Colts. I'm not on this whole Mack truck thing that Birdie's on, and I'd like you to touch on that. Maybe I'm wrong there. But I just think this is a hurt, broken team that can't cover when they win a turnover battle 3-0. Now they go into Miami, who's feeling good about themselves. Maybe I should completely switch over to the Dolphins after hearing Birdie and talking this out loud. Let's just take a look at the poll. I know the poll is early, but 36 votes, 61% on the Dolphins -1.5 right now. There's Connor Mack and Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. You guys were awesome on Sunday's show. Thank you guys for joining us. Bebsie, take it away. Here we go, Colts Dolphins.
Listen, Jimmy, if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will, but I am lockstep with Birdie on this one. I completely agree. Miami, look, they played well against a very good team. I agree. Brissett is not much worse than Tua. Tua's skill set is incredible. I think that's what excites everybody, is what he's capable of, but he doesn't show it. He doesn't show it. He did in Alabama. It's a little different in the NFL. Also, I said this when they drafted him. You don't take a quarterback who's had that many injuries in college that early, but they did. But Brissett can play. He's going up against his old team that's banged up, that isn't playing well. And yeah, a lot of people might be like, oh, well, this could be a get-right spot for Indianapolis. I don't think so. I think Miami has a tough loss last week that they battled for, and I think they even it up at 2-2 this week, and the Colts drop to 0-4, and 1.5 is just a lovely, lovely number to take.
Yeah. Dennis Garcia. Okay, answer this, Bebsie.
Okay.
Dennis says Miami got a pick 6, stopped Vegas at their own 34, setting up a short field, went up 14-0, and then got destroyed.
Okay. Where's the question?
Do you trust what you saw from the Dolphins cover last week?
The Dolphins, they're facing a much better team last week than they are this week. Okay, I'll answer your question with a question. What about Indianapolis inspires you right now to back them up after the first 3 weeks?
Just Frank Reich.
Just Frank Reich. Well, Frank's having a fucking rough go of it right now.
Yeah,
I'm not shitting on Frank. I like Frank. Seems like a real nice guy. I would hang out and drink beers with Frank. Fuck Matt Nagy, but Frank, I'll party with Frank. Okay, but I just don't see it here, especially if Quentin Nelson can't go. That just adds to the woes of this line that was torn apart this summer. And you got old wobble ankles Wentz back there who, look, if he can't get right on this team, his career is pretty well over. Just too many injuries, too much uninspired play. Miami's not a bad football team. They're 1-2. They're a better football team than that. Indianapolis, I'm not so sure. A year ago, they were a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. They're farther away from that now.
I agree. Okay, well, let's lock you in here. The best line we can give you is at Bet365. And Bodog too. I say that maybe once or twice a year that Bet365 will give you the best line on something. Let me just. It's so because I have to use this book that I almost feel like I need to double check because these sons of bitches are such fucking dicks and know how to make money. They have Miami -1.5, -110, and Miami is -1.5, -110. You want the Dolphins -1.5 and 110?
That's what I want.
56% of the chat is on. Jose, do we have a record of these polls after they are up? Love to know if you could answer me that.
I don't think so. No, I think they just go through the live chat.
I would like to see if we could grab them, because I'd be very interested to see how the chat does on a given day. And now we can see it. I'd be very interested. They show up on the playback, so maybe I'll grab them and see. I'd be very interested here. All right, Bebsie is moving on the fish -1.5 at minus 110. And I tell you, with the health of this group going up against this beat-up Colts squad, it makes a ton of sense. I'm going to need a little bit more time, but I will put asterisks beside your look and maybe jump in.